And welcome once again to the Movies and Stuff show. My name is Dan, and proof that we still need Abe. Can't get a show on time. Joining me this week, my co-host Marty.
We decided that 1 week alone was enough, so here we are back.
Abe's coming back? Oh, no.
I meant our
guests.
two guests.
Gotcha. Who are our two guests this week, Marty? Who do we got?
We got Amanda, of course, returning champion, and our friend from overseas, Stefan, who's got a haircut this time. He's looking fresh. He's ready to go.
Have we decided if it's a haircut or not, or just messy hair?
I think we decided it was both.
It's both. Well, Stefan
It's your fault for not having him on more often. Then we'd know if it was a new haircut.
That's a fair point.
I think
there was a bit of a show overhaul. We had to.
So thanks everyone in the chat for sticking around. We're all getting shit for talking about a good movie for once and getting rid of Abe. You see, that's the correlation. Is Abe was the one that had us talking about bad movies. So Abe leaves, ergo we start talking about good movies. But we just can't have a show because he actually puts it together.
Good computer.
There's a lot to parse in there, but I'm going to let you keep going.
Yeah, considering I was the one that picked all the episodes, Abe really had nothing to do with that. So
that might have been part of the problem.
When are we going to stop talking about Abe? Like when is like a breakup? Like when is it okay for me to stop talking about Abe?
You usually get a month until your friends cut you off. So.
Okay. All right. So I still talk to him.
Yeah, we still do fantasy football together.
We do. So there's that. So this week we're going to be talking about Darren Aronofsky's Black Swan. The reason we're doing so is this week, the end of this week, Mother, his newest movie, comes out. We'll be talking about that next week. So I want to do an Aronofsky film to kind of set up as a primer for Mother. I wanted to have a diverse group of guests on in regards to possible disagreements on their thoughts on the movie. So we'll get right into this. All right. So I call myself a Darren Aronofsky fan, yet I hadn't seen Black Swan until this past weekend. I hadn't seen The Fountain until this weekend, and I still haven't seen Pi. So I am a shameful Darren Aronofsky.
So wait. So you're a Jennifer Connelly fan?
I guess so, because I saw Requiem, Noah, the wrestler. Well, she wasn't in The Wrestler, so.
Okay, so Jennifer Connelly and Rachel Evan Woods.
There you go. All right, we'll call it that. All right.
You like eyebrows?
I like eyebrows. I'm a fan for the eyebrows.
Can't blame you.
So, again, like what I've seen of Aronofsky, I really enjoyed, and knowing that we were going to talk about Black Swan, I also wanted to try to watch another one of his films to kind of have a comparison point. Watched Black Swan, absolutely loved it. Watched The Fountain, absolutely loved it. So that's kind of where I'm at in regards to this. So we'll go around the room, we'll get instant kind of feelings and reactions, just kind of keep it basic, and then we'll have when it gets to Marty's turn, we'll have him do a little recap of the film, as only Marty can do. No trailer, though. I'm not that fancy yet. So let's start with Amanda. What are your thoughts of Black Swan?
Well, in general, I really like a lot of where Aronofsky puts into all of his movies. He seems to have kind of a real interest in getting into different points of view, visually and story-wise. And I think that ultimately his movies aren't... I like watching them, but they aren't like super enjoyable or fun. And I think there's a lot that's good in them, but I don't know, like they're not perfect, even though I love them. So it's kind of a mixed bag, but I really enjoyed Black Swan, and Pie, and The Fountain. I think all of those, I had kind of a personal connection to them thematically, so can't really give an objective statement, but Black Swan is one of my top movies.
Very cool. Stefan, I've read some things online of what you've said about this film, so kind of take what you've written and say it to the air. Let the world know what you think of Black Swan.
Okay. Generally speaking, Aronofsky. I have never seen Pi. Never seen that one. I think The Wrestler is halfway decent film. I think The Estimate is crap. Completely. From Requiem to a Dream. I think Noah is the crown turd. And slightly below Noah is Black Swan.
Wow.
Yes.
All right. Well,
it's I think maybe I think we go into depth later about this. Yeah.
I would start right now.
Yeah, I mean, Black Swan, maybe a movie that doesn't know what it wants to do. It tries to do a lot of different things, but it doesn't succeed actually at any level. In the end, it's not even a movie that works as entertainment, I think.
What do you think it tries to do that fails?
I don't really know. Yeah, that's actually hard to find out. I mean, does it say something about ballet? I don't think so. It doesn't say anything that we didn't hear so far. It does it say something about the descent in madness outside the cliches we know from Aronofsky? No, I don't think so. Is it? Does it work as a psychological thriller? No, no. Does it work as a work about obsession? No, not.
I absolutely does. And I think that's the nail on the head, I think. And I think Aronofsky's work over the course of his entire career, it focuses in on obsession, it focuses on addiction, it focuses in on the need for perfectionism and the definition of what perfectionism is. And I think Black Swan, amongst all of his movies, challenges the ideals of perfectionism.
It challenges it, but it doesn't have like a conclusion about it, which is, I think Stefan's actually hit something that I couldn't quite articulate, which is Darren throws out a lot of great ideas, but doesn't have like a cohesive thesis.
To none of all, no.
So I don't mind that. It's sort of like reading like Edgar Allan Poe, where it's all about the mood and not really about a conclusion.
It isn't good at that either.
I'm going to look at the chat too, and I'm going to agree with Gorquill. Something I don't really think I've ever said on the show out loud. I'm going to agree with Gorquill here. He says, Black Swan is about the pursuit of perfection and destroying your own self for a moment of perfection. And that's all it is for a...
I thought you were going to bring up the part. I thought you were going to bring up the part where it says about the lesing out part.
There's that too. Right.
I agree. He tried to do that, but I don't think it's very compelling.
Oh. No. I'm just kidding.
But I will later.
I'm kidding, Gorquill. I agree with you often. Mostly about superhero movies.
Don't offend our one chatter.
He's already upset that I got rid. Well, I mean, Abe left the show.
He's already looking for the Abe channel. I saw that in the few chats.
See, I'll Marty. All right.
It's funny actually hearing you guys talk much like Dan. It's the first time I watched that this weekend, and thinking, as you mentioned, The Wrestler, they're very similar stories.
Oh yeah,
almost to a T. As far as even the ending is almost the exact same. They deal with injuries and not. Wrestler is more about faded glory, as this one is trying to obtain it for the first time, I suppose. But yeah, just it's very similar tones. They're very similarly shot as well. Thinking about it now, but yeah, I didn't have the same visceral reaction that Stefan had. I did enjoy it on not the first 40 minutes. I was kind of sludging through. I was like, oh, this is kind of just the same thing. Then once it starts getting into the kind of trippy horror, not horror, but that kind of psychological stuff we're talking about, that's where the movie really kicked in for me. And I was in it for the last hour of this movie, I got to say. And I a few times, maybe I'm dumb of the group here, but for a few times I wasn't sure what the movie was. I didn't know if it was a Fight Club situation. I didn't know if it was complete snapping kind of situation or what it wound up to be. But it was some really good twists and turns there at the end that I enjoyed. I can understand where Stefan's saying it's not for entertainment. I don't think you can rewatch this other than for study purposes. I don't like.
No, I enjoy it. I would
wouldn't like say, it's on HBO. I'm gonna just sit down and watch it again.
I would. I totally would.
Okay.
Yeah, I totally would. And one of the things that I really enjoyed about it is that it literally tells the story about the Swan, right? I mean, it is that story, and basically the killing yourself at the end is the part of that conclusion of that story, and this is it. I mean, and instead of it's the love story portion of this is the love of perfectionism, and that's the thing that gets hammered through, and it comes from her mother about being perfect and her trying to be perfect in all of her moves, and the dance choreographer kind of pushing her. It's like, well, you don't know what actual perfection is, because look at her, and then you see Mila Kunis dancing like an idiot, better than I could, but still dancing like an idiot, and he's like, you see that's perfection of what you need right there, and it's just really it challenged everything she's known about what she thought being perfect was. I'm waiting for Stefan's rebuttal.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think Aronofsky, as I said before, he picked this topic many times before, but I don't think it doesn't come sincere to me. I think it's something he tries to emulate, but he can't really bring it over. I think so. It's not a very sincere movie. I think what I noted here is like there's this scene when they said to Portman at one point, you're so frigid, you should let go of yourself and something. That applies to the movie, I think. It's a very awkward movie at times, and it tries to present us something. He tries to convey. We're watching something very crazy and very, very obsessive, but in fact it's very calculated. It's not just calculated, it's clumsily calculated, I think. I think it's a point of ineptitude.
Ooh.
Wow. See, I was gonna say that I think I kind of like it because I'm a relatively lazy movie watcher, and this is accessible to me. Like, I'm like, oh, I get it. It's like Black Swan, and like they're doing Swan Lake, and it's like Swan Lake is the ballet, and it's also the story of the movie, and like there's mirrors all over the place. Whoa! And like if I stop thinking about it, I'm like, oh hey, this was more thoughtful.
Shallow.
Yeah, it's because it's like excessively meta. People go, oh, it feels smart, and I don't fucking care if it's a little bit shallow.
I don't have a problem if it was shallow. If you say, okay, it's shallow, it's simplistic, you know what I mean. But there's something to get from it. There's maybe a great atmosphere or great imagery, but actually there isn't anything of that.
See, for me, a lot of there were so many details in this, and you say it's calculated. They were calculated for me. Like, there's a scene at the beginning where her mom makes breakfast for her, and she looks at this grapefruit, and she goes, oh, yummy, it's so pink, it's so pretty. And I'm like, all right, come on. Like, just the food weirdness where dancers get into like controlling their diet and tell themselves that, oh yeah, the pretty pink grapefruit is totally delicious and I'm totally satisfied eating this. And things like the way they wear their clothes and the way they wear their shoes and like the way they wear their hair. So many of those details were so spot on that for me, it did really convey some of the mood of being a dancer. Even though I was never at that level.
I can judge that.
Yeah, and that's why I was saying, I was like, maybe maybe I just like this guy because he's made a movie about being a mathematician and a movie about being a dancer and a movie about being a boy dancer, which is professional wrestling. I'm like, I like all those things. So I feel like he's catering to my level of wanting to work on the movie and also my subject area interest. So I can concede all the points on it not being like he never really has a thesis. He's always just like, I got all these ideas and I'm going to throw them out there and tell me how smart I am for asking you to think more than a Transformers movie. And we'll go, oh my gosh, it's not Transformers. We're so happy.
It might be true. Yeah.
But I do think that he creates, for me, I feel the atmosphere and I see a lot of the details come through. And like I've watched Pi a ton, and there's so many good details in that, even though the math is so superficial and silly. Like I feel like he really, like what I said before, I feel like he really focuses on getting like the point of view of these people. And also, I mean, like he does like weird point of view stuff with cameras. It's like whatever, the rig where they're like going down the hall with the camera. Yeah, whatever.
There's just so many good things to like about this movie.
Well,
though.
I guess I'm just surprised that you don't get value from, like the execution of those pieces, even if there isn't like a good message overall.
I don't think there was anything interesting artistically, actually.
What?
No, the use of hand camera, that was awful. It didn't even match the tone of the movie, I think.
Okay.
It's like he took it over from restaurant.
Soundtrack, great.
Cinematography,
great. At the end, performances, and he always gets great performances from his people. Oh, Natalie Portman, fantastic.
Every performance is bad.
Vincent Cassel,
every performance
Barbara Hershey. What are you talking about? Barbara Hershey's a crazy psycho mother. It's amazing.
Just, that's the problem. Her performance is not just bad. It's not even funny in a campy way. It's not even so over the top.
Winona Ryder?
It's just bad. I think that's a problem anyway in this movie. He's not very good at creating some intimacy in this sense, what he really needed. And then you have this shrill, very, very bad acting at times. And, it's not, if it at least, the whole thing, that's actually a big problem of the film. It was at least that over the top, that it had its own, if he pushed it over the top, it would have worked maybe. But it's in a very unpleasant, on a very unpleasant level, the way it is. He tries to, you could say, elevate a little bit of genre material with some art house sensibilities, but that doesn't work at all. It's too.
I don't know. I think Art House Red Shoe Diaries works quite fine. Like, honestly.
So here's another. I'm convinced that I could get you to say like one positive thing about this movie, and then I'll believe we watched the same thing.
The score was good.
Well, I was gonna say, I'm also kind of in my head comparing this to shit like Center Stage or Step It Up or like other schlocky dance movies.
Oh, that's a rough scale.
That's easy.
Well, right. So on that scale, this is by far the best dance movie I've ever seen.
Oh, I don't know. Dirty Dancing is better than this.
Yeah, actually. But so I mean, I guess is there something in your mind you're comparing this to that does similar things better? Or just like not exposed to that?
Not actually actual movie, but I was thinking of different directors who could have done this movie better. I think David Cronenberg could have made a better movie of this. I think even Dario today, even I think he still has it. I think prime Dario Argento could have made a great movie. I think Brian De Palma in his prime could have made a great movie of this. It's the material that would be tailored for them, I mean, those are people who know about obsession, who can convey this feeling, and who know about deconstructing the body and all that stuff,
So you don't feel that Aronofsky understands obsession or understands addiction or perfectionism enough?
Exactly.
Even though your argument is that he can't make a perfect film, so ergo his thesis is if he's trying for perfectionism, wouldn't he know a lot about trying to be perfect? I mean, going for it and not getting there. I mean,
yeah, actually, yeah. Maybe he should maybe put some of his struggle on the screen. Maybe then it would work. I don't know. But the way he does it, it doesn't work. I have a certain theory about Aronofsky. Maybe it's not the right. Should I get into it?
It's the right place.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think there are two kinds of Aronofsky movies. The one is the one with the idea about perfection, a little bit of body horror, and all that stuff.
I think all of his films represent that, frankly.
The Wrestler, the Black Swan, and Requiem, and the other one's The Fountain and The Nova. This is this New Age garbage.
They both obsession and perfectionism as well. Absolutely.
Yeah, too. But I think these are two, and I think his New Age movies are the true Aronofsky. I think that's where he excels at. This pompous New Age nonsense. That's exactly what he is. And if you look at his other movies, you see he is this kind of New Age guy who tries to emulate, I don't know, a guy who knows anything about, who tries to emulate this kind of body horror or whatever you want to call this subgenre. But he can't really. He doesn't have the right sensibilities. I think Noah and Fountain is exactly where he's... that's his material. That's where he's at.
That's really interesting.
Because those movies are not about real people. This is about some...
I wish I liked this movie
bullshit, yes, but it's about very clumsy symbolism and New Age. This is exactly where he's at, yeah.
Marty's got something to say.
It's just he's I
just wish I liked this movie enough to fight him, just because it'd be fun, not because it'd be angry or anything. Just could be fun to argue about this. So I hope this comes up again at some point. But I will say that the acting I did enjoy in spots. It was very uneven, I would say, and maybe that was the point of the movie, to throw us off. So that's why they had to be uneven performances. But I will say that Winona Ryder is perfectly cast in this, for no other reason than Natalie Portman and Mila Kunis took her life for real as well. So to have her play that character, I don't even think they probably told her what to do. I think they just said, here's a dressing room, and she just trashed it on instinct. Like, oh, good.
She said that trashing that dressing room was like the most fun she'd ever had. Yeah. They had her do it at like 3 a.m, and she couldn't go to sleep afterwards because she was so excited.
And I bet they didn't even tell her to do it. That was just her natural instinct to go in there. And then, when Natalie Portman's telling her, "Oh, you were perfect," and she just kind of like laughs at her almost, like it was just perfect. And a couple other spots that I thought were just funny. When she's preparing for the main show, and she's practicing all night, and all of a sudden the piano stops, and she looks around, and the guy's like, "I got a life.
I'm out of here." Yeah.
That was another just like an offhand funny part of the movie. And then the end, when the guy in the Black Swan outfit's walking in the background. And she's like going through this crazy, in her mind, going nuts. And he's like, "Oh, what's up?" And just walks through. It was just those little funny moments I enjoyed. Like I said, it made for an uneven movie at times because you weren't sure what frame of mind to be in. But I found them funny.
I got to go back to what Stefan was saying though. It's The Fountain. Is such a fantastic film, and I don't want to get into it too much because this review is about Black Swan and not necessarily The Fountain, but we're talking about Aronofsky as a whole.
It's about Aronofsky.
And to say that The Fountain isn't about obsession is ludicrous. Stefan.
But it's more an afterthought. I mean, mostly it's about kitschy images. And
what the... What are you're really trying to just like trigger us and rile us up at this point. If you can't say that The Fountain is about being obsessive.
Yeah, maybe too. But it's a different level than Requiem for a Dream and Black Swan and The Wrestler. Come on, it's completely different. It's a completely different character.
It's a different tone.
Really...
It's a different character, but it's still all about obsession. And same thing. Even
it's
like,
maybe
I'll
about
throw
obsession,
Noah
but
out there, and you think about a perfectionism. Like the whole theory, the whole story of Noah is God's striving for perfectionism.
It's not at the center of the story.
But it's the thesis. The whole thesis is obsessive, and you have this God that is obsessed and wants perfectionism and decides like, well, I failed. Let me just start all over. Let's take these animals and go ahead. I mean, all of his movies focus in on this core central theme.
But it's different. I mean, the other ones, they are more about people destroying themselves for perfectionism and all that. And
that's a fair point.
It's more body-centric movies.
Body-centric
movies, like, and those movies are more on the spiritual side. The Fountain and the Noah. This is more a spiritual thing.
Now, I'll give you the fact that those the movies that you're talking about are more about destroying your personal self, but I mean, there is a loss of self that's going on in The Fountain as well. And Noah.
This gobbledygook spiritualism is more. This is more his style, I think.
Need to get
this is where he is at. This is where he's at, and with the other movies, he just tries to emulate something he cannot. It's something. It's really like a film student movies. Those movies. It's just, as you said, it's thesis thrown out there, but it doesn't really coalesce into something organic.
Amanda, what do you think about the rest of Aronofsky's filmography?
I don't interpret The Fountain as being terribly spiritual, but I think it's that ambiguity that I like about it. But again, it's also that ambiguity, which means that like you can't draw clear conclusions about what he's trying to say, which is what bothers Stefan, and which is exactly what I like. Like, I love the fact that I can come up with 5 different interpretations of The Fountain. I don't know if I can really do 5, but I like the idea that I watch it and I go, I liked pretty much everything I saw, and I can put it together however I feel like. But yeah, so I guess the thing is, I don't disagree with Stefan. It's just I like it, and I'm gonna kind of throw out. I'm also a Tarsem apologist, and Tarsem's another guy who makes things that are pretty and have like almost no meaning.
But they work on an aesthetic level at least.
Right. But a lot of people are bothered by the fact that he doesn't care about the frickin' plot. And but you'll never, if someone's really concerned about the plot working, you'll never convince them that an aesthetic movie is good. And so I think this is, like, I don't want to just throw my hands up and say it's a matter of opinion, but I don't disagree with you. I just don't care. I like that it's ambiguous. So it makes it hard for me to like make an argument because I agree with you. I just think most of those things aren't bad.
So what you're saying is I agree with you, but you're wrong.
But I agree with your opinion about the movie, but I think you're wrong as a human being.
I think Tassim's movies, yes, as I said, yeah.
Yeah.
It's true, but in that case, I think it works of aestheticism, where you could say look is the substance, and I don't think Aronofsky's works do that. They are mechanical, far too mechanical movies.
Right, I wasn't comparing two movies.
I think the problem is there's no sense of sensuality. That's also I noticed in his movies, especially missing. I mean, that would have been appropriate in Black Swan
and Noah, especially.
The sexual parts are cringe-worthy in Black Swan. Man, it's like an alien.
I think some of it's supposed to be, though.
It's supposed to be very awkward. No, I mean,
not this way. Not
this character is supposed to be about awkward with sexuality. The fact that that's the whole point. Well, trying to turn into the Black Swan.
Okay, I'm gonna take Stefan's side here for a second and say that while in Black Swan, or any of the movies individually, it may make sense. It is really strange that we've got like half a dozen movies from the same guy and none of them are about sex yet.
You know, the problem is
like there's definitely like a sensuality missing from what he does.
Maybe we'll see it in a Mother.
And see every time Aronofsky tries to push borders to be a little edgy, it always ends up in some cheap exploitation. Actually, he is actually kind of an exploitationist who doesn't enjoy exploitation. Actually, it's like an exploitation movies that don't have fun being exploitation movies.
Are you talking about the lesbian?
Yes, for example, and everything that happened in Requiem for a Dream, could say.
You're being challenged in the chat.
Shit
by the way.
sandwich.
You're
actually.
being challenged in the
I don't
chat,
care.
saying, "Hold on." So you're complaining about no sensuality in Black Swan, but like Cronenberg.
Yeah, Cronenberg actually has a lot of sensuality in some of his movies, and I mean he can sell the point that it's awkward or that it's a little disgusting when he wants to, and it works.
So when in Requiem for a Dream, when she goes ass to ass, that you didn't buy that.
Yeah,
you've seen way too much ass to ass porn before that it wasn't believable to you.
I thought it's just cheap exploitation, and he's trying. Yeah, it's very cheap. It's very crude. It's superficial, of course. He doesn't really make a point with it. It's kind of trying to make a point, but exploiting it at the same time. That's a trap you can easily fall into. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I just don't agree. I think that
absolutely like that. He's very judgmental. I mean, Requiem for a Dream is an awfully judgmental movie.
Sure, it's fine. You can say that it's judgmental, but you can't say that.
I mean, he hates his personally, usually in most of his movies. I think Noah is a perfect movie for him because he's kind of like he's a little like God in this movie. I think that was he's always dreaming of.
Sure, but
to kill all the kill all the people. Yeah, that's a little also the person he is in real life.
But I mean,
I'm enjoying
the word
so much.
nature freak. Yeah, that's what he is.
You don't have to like your characters. You don't. I mean,
I think that in order to devise exactly the right
fun in
church.
killing them. It's crazy. It's just I don't know what to take from this. You know, a good misanthropic movie maker, he can at least convey the fun he has offering his characters, and also it's against the point of the movie in Requiem for a Dream. I mean, we're supposed to kind of empathize a little with them.
I think the audience does. The director doesn't have to empathize for the audience to empathize. I think he's put together a movie, Requiem for a Dream, where you do empathize at the end, even if he doesn't care about these people.
No, I didn't. I think it's very cheap. It's too cheap for me. It's just too cheap for me. She just puts them through the ringer, and he works like with the cheap.
I would say in this movie, I'm not in Black Swan. I don't think you ever feel empathy for anybody. I would maybe in The Wrestler. But
Maybe Wrestler is maybe his most decent movie, as I said in the beginning. Yeah. There's a little bit of a shred of humanity in this movie. Yeah.
See, I don't think you can really torture a character unless you love them a little bit.
No, you can, of course.
Okay, I mean, at least not. I don't see how you can make something suffer without understanding.
Yeah,
how it works.
I think his movies are all about this stuff. He does it's mostly about reaction, and he knows how to get a reaction with this kind. I mean, it's very crude. It's very simple with a scene like S to S. You know what I mean? It's a very simplistic. There's nothing smart about it, actually.
I don't know. It shows how far that these people will go. It shows how far that they fall. It shows how much
it doesn't
they'll
ring
suffer.
true. It doesn't ring true.
It does.
Like,
it does ring true.
That
scene's a very
not at
powerful,
all.
good scene.
No, not at all.
Yes, it is.
It's like Not at all. It isn't. It's
If you've checked out at any point before that scene, you won't be okay with it. Like I definitely have to drink the Kool-Aid and be willing to go along. And like if I participate in the movie, then it like is completely devastating. But if you stay detached, it doesn't work the same way.
I think with Portman, you feel the moments. At least I did. I don't think Stefan felt anything, but just the physical toll the movie takes on her, I think, is something that I could appreciate. You know, the constant. You know, the one scene at the end where she's ripping her feet apart almost, where they're pushing her diaphragm back into place at one point in the movie. So on that level, I can you can kind of empathize with just the physical nature of what dancing was, and it relates to just in the wrestler again. You can what he put his body through in that. So in those moments, I didn't. Sometimes the parts where she's going insane, you're not sure what you're watching enough to empathize, I guess, yet. But the physical nature, I think at least I could, feel something for her in those moments.
Was she nominated for?
She won.
She did. Did she win? Yeah. Stefan?
Shocking. I don't know. But the Oscars worth a damn. So that doesn't impress me. I think that you don't have an argument against that. Okay.
I can give Stefan a little more fodder because I do have a few unique critiques of this movie.
Go ahead.
One is so Natalie Portman's a better ballet dancer than I will ever be. She's still not great, and they went through like really we don't really see her do that much point work. Full body shots anyways. So I was gonna say that like for this being such an intense dance movie, there was more dancing in The Wrestler. So it was very interesting to see a dance movie that had like Capezio tights and like deck changes on the side of the stage and warm-ups and people wearing their shirts funny and like the hair and like all of those details, and then to have there be very little just dancing.
See, if Tarantino directed, you'd have a lot of point work. You'd be focused in on those feet throughout the entire movie.
Well, but see, that's the thing is they focus in on the feet, and then you don't see
the full body,
the full body, or they focus. He did a lot of handheld with them moving around the camera, which gives you the feel of what it's like to be dancing, which is interesting. Mm-hmm. But they're doing like I could have done the stuff that actually ended up on camera in those scenes.
So now we're going to remake Black Swan, and you're going to play the Natalie Portman role.
And Stefan plays the coach.
Stefan plays the coach.
Or teacher, right?
Like teacher,
my husband's watching this, you guys. You can't ship me with Stefan.
Well, we can cut out some of the groping parts.
But just the point where
just acting.
He hates you and he wants to make you suffer. That part of it. Yeah.
Oh, we'll keep the part where he recommends better movies for me to watch so that I no longer hold the false opinion that Black Swan is a valuable movie.
We had you on for Black Swan to make up for Amateur Night, okay? There.
Wow, so we're even now and we never have to hang out again.
That's it. We're done.
Okay.
What other points do you have, so other than the dancing part?
I did have an actuary point, which is that Black Swan is a phrase usually associated with like David Hume, and always refers to an unknown. Because there was this idea that you used to take this statement, all swans are white, as absolute truth. And then they discovered black swans in Australia, and they said, oh, hey, I guess we were wrong. And statements like all swans are white are not like a priori truths. So in contemporary finance, a black swan is an unknown. So I thought that was kind of an interesting extra meaning on there that you don't know the things you don't know.
Elevating our show, Amanda. Always.
Yeah, you know. Well, see, it's stuff like this where I'm like, he's talking to me personally. He's using references I get, and I'm like, not many directors do that, or at least I can't imagine that many of them do that. So I take it kind of personally, and I own that.
All right, Marty, do you have any final notes on Black Swan?
No, I think a lot was said. I did enjoy it. I can see some of Stefan's points. I must say, very similar tones of a lot of his movies. So to get to a point where it's like, all right, come up with something new. Mother should be interesting next week. I'm looking forward to it. It's odd that he's directing his girlfriend in a movie where his girlfriend is dating an older man. So we'll see.
A little Tim Burton thing, right?
Maybe we'll have Stefan's hope that he makes a movie about himself for a change. So we'll see if that's the case. Well, yeah, this is a good discussion, I must say.
Okay. Stefan, you said you have pages of notes, but you write really big. Did you get everything you wanted to say out, or do you have anything more?
That's a note I have.
Off your chest?
There's a note I have. I once noticed what Darren Aronofsky is the poor man's Shinya Tsukamoto. That's what I noticed. The guy who made Tokyo Fist and Vital and all these movies. Tetsuo, exactly. Because he is actually doing what Aronofsky tries to do, but he's successful at it. This is like marrying this art house with, tropes with genre and with body horror. Yeah.
See, this is good because now I'm going to look these up.
I know.
Yeah, watch Tokyo Fist, Bullet Ballet. That's appropriate. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I say. Yeah,
I can remember those words. I can look that up.
All right. Well, my final piece on this is Stefan's completely wrong. Plus, this movie had Natalie Portman and Mila Kunis kissing. So
and more.
And more, and we failed to mention that until the very end of the show. So
no, we talked about the lesbian scene.
Okay, then shame on me for glossing over that, because we should have really focused in on that a huge segment of the show.
You went straight
to ass.
Well,
yeah.
We've already set the bar of how many times we've said ass to ass, so we might as well continue to just say ass to ass until we
I don't think I said it at all during the show. Can I say it?
Go ahead, please do.
Ass to ass.
There you go. The counter in the corner.
Yeah.
That was Black Swan. Good stuff there.
Available on most demands for, I think I paid like 99 cents for it.
I paid 99 cents for mine. Yeah. So check it out if you want to, or with
Aronofsky before seeing Mother. If you want to see Mother next week,
that's right.
It'd be a good primer.
Marty, take us home with some stuff. What do you got?
Well, in directing news, since we were talking about directors this whole time, and since it is a Tuesday, it means we have a new Star Wars director.
Always.
New director, same as the old director. Announced today by Star Wars via tweet. I love Star Wars. They have all these big conventions. They have 6 different Comic-Cons. Everything they announce is on a tweet at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Tuesday. They don't give a shit. So J.J. Abrams is coming back to direct Episode 9. Of course, we talked last week about Colin Trevorrow being out after a series of questions about the script, questions about the direction of the final movie. So rather than go outside the house, they just said, hey, JJ, you started it, bring us home. I think, and most people are writing that their initial hope was to bring in Rian Johnson back from 8 to just finish it. But I think logistically it just wasn't going to work. Last Jedi comes out in December. He's going to be doing press through December and January probably. They want to start filming this movie in January. So I think he must have told them that he couldn't do it on that kind of schedule. And I think it would have been a mistake to try and do it on that schedule, because if he starts again in January, we're going to have the same problem, next year where it's like, oh, Ryan's burned out. We need to bring in someone new. So bring in JJ. I think it's the safe choice. It's not, it's the equivalent of bringing in Ron Howard to do Han Solo. They're just going to go with someone they know they've tried a few times to go with the new up and coming or young kind of director. And it hasn't worked now 3 times, I'll say. So I'm not thrilled, but I understand why they're doing it. It makes the most sense. Attachment to this, they tweeted out a couple hours later the obvious news that instead of May 2019. This will be coming out in December 2019.
Got some competition, though.
Yes and
Maybe,
no.
maybe.
They decided it was an easy switch. They switched They had Aladdin slated for that day with Will Smith, the live action one. So they're moving that to May. Avatar, who knows if that's coming out ever.
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman is slated for December, the first week of December in 2019, but that almost certainly will be moved back a month. I would say, because Patty Jenkins signed this week as well. That
it's
was
either going to be December, or maybe they push it to February.
Yeah, they can put that's.
Stefan, is this more
time.
or less fun than arguing about Black Swan?
More or less fun. I don't care. This is
we'll
another thing. I don't have any
fun,
emotions.
Okay, I'm at about that level too.
Okay. I listen to you guys.
I know.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
No. That was I said. That was the news of the day. JJ's back.
What else you got then?
This weekend, I don't know if any of you guys saw it. We've missed it. We're gonna probably circle back to it in October when we're talking horror. But record-breaking $123 million weekend, the highest opening for any horror film. Beat out Wonder.
It was
R-rated.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know if it beat out. I'd have to look at Deadpool's opening. But just this year, it beat out Wonder Woman for opening weekend. It beat out Spider-Man. I think it was second to just Beauty and the Beast and Guardians for opening weekend. So it'll be interesting to see what they do a second weekend now with Mother coming out. I don't think Aronofsky movies don't make huge money, but this has been. They pushed this out there pretty good. They've been advertising this for a solid couple months now. You got Jennifer Lawrence, who was a hit or miss with the box office, so it should do a good number, I would assume. And then
Steph,
that was about it.
Did you see it yet, or no?
No, it doesn't start here till 29th. But I think I like the fact that it's a blockbuster, because most horror blockbusters in the last 10 years have been the same movies, like the James Wan movies and all this Paranormal Activity and Saw movies and so.
Well, just this year,
I think this could be very good for the genre.
We had this, and Get Out earlier this year was a big success. Not traditional horror, but
yes. But yeah, I think that's a good trend, because I think blockbuster is as important as any indie movie for any genre.
And to come in,
I hope they are going to do some more out there horror movies with big budgets now.
September movie do this well is fairly shocking.
It's based on a known property, but it's still, I think it's a little more outlandish than the usual ghost movies we have at this time.
And they definitely do more of them now. I think that's already been announced. So.
But as I know Hollywood, we will just be getting lots of killer clown movies then.
All right, that's all the news you got.
Pretty much. I mean, you can feel that Patty Jenkins. We said this. We just mentioned signed on to do Wonder Woman again. That's it. Really.
Amanda, you got anything? Anything going on? Any news?
You're reading anything you're watching?
Yeah.
I mean, actually, my friend Scott has a great hot take about how Baby Driver is the real Han Solo movie. So,
yes, that's I did a mini review for that couple episodes. I guess.
So I'm gonna throw out there that I think he's probably on his 6th rewatch of it. He probably watched it twice today because it's available on streaming now. I'm sure he took the day off work to watch it. So I'm gonna say that based on my friend Scott, you should probably see Baby Driver.
All right.
That's what I'm doing with my 30 seconds this week.
Great, Stefan. With your 30 seconds, what do you got? Anything?
Not really. Maybe you have heard that Talkback is coming back. I just heard the news.
What?
Maybe only Dan.
I did. That's the hullabaloo. It's the scuttlebutt.
Yeah.
It's that talkbacker.com is apparently coming back.
What is that even? Or is this not the time?
You didn't watch the Abe Dan Goodbye show? Talkbackers was discussed.
Oh, I didn't take notes while I was watching it. I was only there for the shit posting.
When Abe said that he straight up quit because of Marty.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll go straight to that part.
So
There are still some people in the chat this week that still said things like that. So
it'll pass. It'll pass. The jokes about it'll pass, and Marty can start feeling good about himself and start dying. Stop dying on the inside as a result.
I mean, I don't think that's ever going to stop, but.
We survived one episode of me and him just doing an episode together, as Marty mentioned. Then we had to bring other people into the mix. So we'll see. Who's joining us for Mother next week? Amanda, you in for Mother? You
Go hands.
Yeah, I'll be seeing it on Friday for my birthday.
So Amanda will be back. Steph,
happy birthday!
Have you
I don't think so. No, I can't discuss it. It's not just the director. I think this. I don't know if I'm wrong, but there was something that it's kind of veering into the direction of Rosemary's Baby.
That's what I'm hoping.
And I have like seen 20, 30 movies based on Rosemary's Baby somehow. So I will wait until I watch it. Yes.
Okay. All right. So with that, Amanda will be back next week. We'll close out another episode of the Movies and Stuff show. Happy birthday, Amanda.
Yay!
Happy birthday.
So as I mentioned, we'll be back next Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time to discuss Darren Aronofsky's Mother. Please make sure to like this video, subscribe to us, please comment below, let us know why Stefan is wrong in the comments. Please do. Marty's going to be putting videos probably over all of our faces, so wherever he's pointing, there'll probably be a video at some point. Make sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Movie Stuff Show. You can see the nice little graphics I put in the corner down there to do so. Follow Amanda on Instagram. She's awesome on Instagram. What are you on? What are you on Instagram? What's your handle?
I'm Hermission Cat, like a Hermission matrix from quantum mechanics or linear algebra. But really, what you should follow is Clean Facades, which is just walls, and you'd be amazed at how many people love walls.
She gets a lot of views on her walls.
It's really weird.
It's crazy.
But I'm not asking questions.
That's all I got. So
I think I actually pointed the right way for a change.
I think so. Good night, everyone. Bye.